conversations about how women of color maintain mental health through finding peace, life choices, and of course, self-love. I am your host, Renee Winters. Well, welcome to everyone to a new podcast, Keeping Queens in Balance. And I'm just so happy that everyone is here with me today. Once again, please please comment, because I love to hear what you queens are thinking about. Well, today I have a wonderful guest with me, Dr. Jasmine Escalera. Thank you so much for being here. Yay!
Thank you so much for having me. I am just so thrilled. And I am looking at you right now with your energy and your backdrop for your wall. And I'm just like, yes, please. It's reminding me so much of growing up in Brooklyn. Like, I don't know what's going on. It's just like bringing me back.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for being here. Let me share a little bit about you with my followers. So I'm going to read the bio that you shared, okay?
Of course.
Dr. Jasmine Escalera is a certified career and life coach with proven programs that help her clients focus on gaining clarity around their careers, beating self-doubt, and building confidence. As a coach, Jasmine integrates empowerment, success-focused mindset work, and strategy into a program that ensures her clients have both the belief systems and plan to take charge of their careers. Jasmine is a 2022 LinkedIn top voice and has been named one of the top job search experts to follow on LinkedIn in 2021 by JobScan and a career expert to follow in 2021 by Brains Magazine. Jasmine is also a TEDx speaker with the talk Conquering Workplace Conformity as a Woman of Color, and that's where I met you, detailing her journey as a Latina in STEM. Jasmine was born and raised in Brooklyn, and received her bachelor's degree in biochemistry from Pace University and PhD in pharmacology from Yale. She has held high-level nonprofit management positions, designing research programs that increase the quality of life and healthcare options for underserved populations. So, oh my gosh, wonderful bio. Thank you so much for being here. Woo!
Thank you for reading that. I haven't read that to myself in a while, and now I'm like, dang, I'm dope.
What? Yes, brush those shoulders up, girl.
Myself more often.
Yes, right? Hype yourself up. You need to, hype yourself up on the daily.
Which I don't think that we do enough of. So that's something that we have to be doing for ourselves first, is hyping ourselves up. So thank you so much for doing that, because it actually it brought me back. It hyped me up for myself. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're so welcome. So I shared that wonderful bio with everyone. Is there anything else that I missed that you want to add, or that share with my followers?
I actually do, because I realized that the most important person in my life wasn't in the bio, and that's my dog, Cody. Not a man, it's my dog.
Your fur baby.
Baby, who, to be 100% honest, is the most important person to me, because he actually keeps me grounded in reality. Like, sometimes I feel like as determined professional women, as business owners, especially as women of color, we know how to grind, we know how to hustle, we know how to do it, right?
Yes.
And we need those things in our lives to pull us back into the space of other things are going on, like being grounded in this moment. And that is ultimately what he does for me.
Yes, definitely. So okay, great segue for me, because in terms of balance, keeping queens in balance, you got a lot going on, Jasmine. So what is it that allows you to stay balanced? I know you mentioned your pet, but what else is it that you find in your life that helps you to maintain your balance and your sanity through this crazy world?
Yeah, I love that question. And I have to say that the thing that brought me to my most confident, powerful self in my career is the thing I still hold on to and treasure and do every single day, which is I journal every morning. And it's so important. I have a process in which I wake myself up and I journal every morning, just to connect back to different things, right? And my journaling takes shape in different ways. So right, before previous in the last few weeks, my journaling was a lot around believing in myself.
Mm,
A lot around believing that I could be the woman that I want to be, to create the outcome in this life that I want to create, to create
right.
the transformation in the world that I want to create.
Yes.
And my journaling has recently stepped more into this new powerful capacity of I already am that woman.
Ooh, love
And
that.
now I'm journaling more around I already am her, and how can I find the evidence that she already exists? Uh,
Oh, I love that.
it's
Love that.
Yeah, and that's why I love having a morning ritual. I'm a morning person, but I love
Hmm.
having that morning ritual of connecting to that aspect of your powerful self
Yes.
and grounding yourself in that. Um,
Yes.
so
Yes.
that's something that I would say has kept me both sane and connected to who I am, but also the woman I want to become.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that, because I've talked to a lot of people on the podcast, a
Mhm.
lot of wonderful women, and that's something that's I haven't heard that yet. And I know that is just as powerful tool as everything, as meditation,
Yeah.
as yoga. That journaling is powerful. And
Mhm.
I've done some of that myself too, as a part of some of the things that I do. But to have have you lead with that as
Yes.
the balancing force is a beautiful thing. And I definitely want to touch back to a couple of points you said in terms of
Mhm.
the journaling piece, what happened in your life that led you to that point. And the other piece is being that amazing woman that you are and recognizing that. So we're definitely going to come back to that. All right. So
Yeah.
so let's talk about the journaling piece. So
Mhm.
was there anything in your life that, had you made you gravitate to that or made you realize that was it for you?
Yes. Well, I grew up I grew up in the projects, and I talk about my journey growing up very often. I was a Latina, grew up in the
Hmm.
projects, grew up very poor, and my
Hmm.
parents, my dad didn't graduate high school, my
Hmm.
mom went to college very later on in life, but I do say that my growing up, it was really challenging because of the money,
Hmm.
because of the sacrificing, because of the hard
Yeah.
work. But I
Right.
did have a beautiful childhood in that, I was very supported by my family and my community.
Right.
I love to learn. That is one of the
Yes.
things I love
Yes.
to do. I love to read.
Yes.
And I think very early on, everyone knew, okay, she's going to get out of here, right? She's going
Yes.
to.
Yes. Yes.
And I
Yes.
became that person that everyone championed to make that move out, because it was like,
Mm.
if she can do it, then it means like almost collectively we're
Yes.
doing it.
Yes.
Mm,
Yes.
and that was such a beautiful thing to hold.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I also recognize and realize that as I stepped into the academic space, as I stepped into the professional world,
Mhm.
no one else looked like me, and no
Yes.
one else was going to support me in the way that my community did. And
Mhm.
so my career was incredibly challenging,
Oh, I
being in
bet.
the space with being in very white male dominated spaces. There was
Right,
a
because
lot
you were in
of
STEM,
people.
right? You were in the
Yeah,
STEM
I was
field?
in STEM, which I don't want to date myself, but
Right.
20 years ago when I was starting in STEM, it was very, very old white man stuffy
Oh,
competition. It was
yes.
tough.
It's still like don't you're not dating yourself because those
It still is that way.
statistics still exist. Yes,
Yeah,
those
it
yes, for
still is
sure.
that way for
Yeah.
sure. And so, my career was flooded with a lot of challenging moments.
Mhm.
There were moments when I just felt very less than. And
Mhm.
I'm going to be 100% honest in that I didn't feel like I could be myself. But beyond that, I felt like I had to hold back on the truth of
Mm.
who I was and where I
Yes.
came from to try to
Yes.
fit in. So
Right.
I actually felt like I became almost kind of like, oof, this is going to be rough for me to say, but almost kind of like a traitor to my
Mm.
community,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I felt like I had to let them go to achieve some level of success that someone else was telling me I needed to achieve.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And then I realized I wasn't ever going to achieve it anyway, because I
Right.
felt like I was getting the crumbs, right? I
Yes,
was
yeah.
seeing other men advancing to higher standards than I was, even though I
Mhm.
was the one doing the work, even though
Oh,
I was the
what?
one putting in the effort.
Yes.
So, I had gotten to this point where I realized, well, I ain't never going to be, a white man, so I might
Right.
as well. And that involved a lot of reconnecting back to
Yes.
my culture, my identity, who I was. And I did
Mhm.
that a lot through journaling, mindset
Yes.
work. through a
Yes.
lot of that introspective work that I
Yes.
don't think we
Yes.
necessarily always give ourselves enough time
Yes.
and
Yes.
grace to do.
Mm.
Um, so that's where the journaling kind of came in. It
Mhm.
came in that point in my life where I was like, well, I got to get back to when did I feel my most powerful? When did I
Mm.
feel my most confident? And asking myself, when was that?
Yes.
And becoming really real with myself and the fact that I let that go,
Yes.
but I
Yes.
had to pick it back up
Right.
if I was going to every single day feel good about myself and put my
Mhm.
head on the pillow every day and
Mhm.
at least feel good about the person that I was and the decisions that I was making.
Yes. I love
So
that.
that's kind of where the
No.
journaling piece came in, was helping me to reconnect back so that I
Mhm.
could move forward.
Yes, I love it. I love that. I love that. That's beautiful. Is journal the only tool that you use to help balance yourself?
No, I do other things. I do yoga, I do
Mm.
meditation.
Mhm.
One of the most grounding things that I
Mhm.
have introduced into my life, which has actually been very good in terms of health factor, is exercising. Like I
Mhm.
work out
Mhm.
almost every morning. I do my
Yes.
journaling, I do my working out. I try to get a lot of movement in my day.
Yes.
Also with my dog, one of another really great thing I do is he always wants to be walked.
Yes.
So that reconnection back to nature, like I
Right.
really, when I walk him, I try to look up instead of
Yes.
down and
Right.
breathe deep breaths of fresh air instead of feeling like I have to, move somewhere and
Right.
get somewhere.
Right.
It
Yes.
becomes more about that moment and about the
Yes.
space. And
Yes.
that's very, very therapeutic for me.
Oh, without a doubt. That's beautiful. I love that. I
Mhm.
love that. So let me ask you, what would you tell to other women of color who were thinking about, starting journaling or, getting
Mhm.
into that reflective aspect of writing,
Yeah.
what would you tell them?
I would tell them to ask themselves why they want to do it. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a reason why you feel so inclined to
Mm-hmm.
start this process. There may be something going on in your life. There may
Mm-hmm.
be some level of lack of fulfillment. There may be
Mm-hmm.
some doubt. There may be something going on. And I would ask yourself first, why do I feel the need to take this move, to do
Okay.
this thing? Because
Right.
that can ground you in the reason, in the why. And
Right.
once you know why, then you can start to ask yourself, well, what's going on? What needs to change? What do I need to
Right.
do? You can start to more ask yourself those deeper questions. So, when I was starting my journaling, it was because I was feeling anxiety. I was getting
Mm-hmm.
panic attacks. I was hating going to work. I didn't like myself. I
Right.
didn't like the person I was. And so when I
Right.
grounded myself in why do I need to start this process,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
started to realize it was because I felt lost. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
because it was because I wanted to be successful, but I still didn't really feel that way. And then
Right.
I asked myself, well, why don't you feel that way? And I
Right.
started to realize, well, it's because success to me means being me.
Yes.
It means, speaking up. It means wearing the big hoop earrings. It means
Yes.
being more playful, being more open.
Yes. Yes.
Um, so, that was what kind of led me down the trajectory that I could ask myself, well, why am I not being this?
Right, right, right. Being true to
So
who you are, being totally authentic in
yeah,
who you are.
right.
And I think, as women of color, we often deal with that. I have dealt with the same things too, in
Yeah,
terms of my hair, having my
yeah.
curly hair or whatever, in terms of
Mhm.
what would the my colleagues say to me about my hair, or what would they say, what I
Mm,
mean? That whole feeling, the hoop earrings, that everything, you know what I mean? It's like you live your life conforming to something that's not you, and that's
yeah.
not, I think the reflection or the turnaround is saying, no, let me be authentic to myself. And what do I need to get there?
Mhm. Yeah,
And that journaling
100%.
is essential. So I know that out in the market, there are a lot of journals nowadays where they ask you questions and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Did you start with something like that? Or do you like recommend just an open book? Like, what do you think? What do you think about my followers?
I recommend you just play with your own thoughts. Just
Okay.
kind of let your own thoughts lead the way.
Right.
So there's something called morning pages that I
Hmm.
started out with, and morning
Hmm.
pages really is just you have one sheet of paper and you commit to writing every single day on that sheet of paper, both sides. You just let
Okay.
your mind just spill.
Yes.
And what you can do is almost kind of read those thoughts back and then
Mm,
ask yourself, why am I feeling this thing? That's
right.
really interesting. Why am I saying that to myself?
Right. Right,
And
right,
that's a great way to do it, is just let you be the driver
right.
instead of letting the external drive you.
Yes,
That's
yes.
how you can kind of take a little bit more control of the process and kind of
Right.
the process take you where it just needs to go.
Right, right. No, that's good. I like that. I like that. And I think that everything that we talk about, whether it's meditation, whether it's yoga, journaling, it's
Mhm.
really being reflective and introspective as
Yeah.
to who you are as an
Mhm.
individual, you know? And I think that's a part of that balance. You know, it's a
Yeah.
part of something that we often lose in our pursuit of our careers, in our pursuit or balancing our families or doing whatever we're doing in our world, you know, we often lose that piece. So all of these other aspects that we're talking about, specifically journaling too, helps you to regain that, helps you to
Mhm.
touch that, you
Yeah.
know, and we lose that. And that's such a big part of who we are, you know,
Mhm.
everything else that we have on the surface is only surface, you
Yeah.
know, all
Yeah, I love that.
literally, you
Yeah,
know.
it is so much about getting in touch with yourself and who you are. And like I said, I think that as women of color, especially, we own a lot of things, right? We
Mhm.
have to do a lot of things. There's a
Mhm.
lot of people we have to take care of. And
Mhm.
in my culture, being a Latina, it was always kind of like implied that you were going to put other people before yourself.
Oh my good.
Yeah, and that's just, that's, I get it, right? Like that's the way
Yes.
we grow up. But
Yeah.
when we grow up that way, we think that we have to continue to do that in our
Mhm.
lives. And so we
Yes.
don't give ourselves the time to just sit with ourselves and
Oh
our
my goodness.
and just
Yes.
that can be so incredibly powerful. So I urge everyone to kind of sit with themselves and sit with their
Mm.
thoughts and see what comes up for them.
Yes, 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 yes. Love that. Love that. So, I know you shared a little bit about the hardships that you had as, growing up in Brooklyn. And so can you share with me some of the other challenges that you had to overcome as a woman of color?
Yeah,
Anything outside of that or anything you want to add to that?
yeah, I think the biggest thing that I have been working on, and I've been working on this a lot with myself, and I've started to work on it with my clients, is releasing cultural and family beliefs that no
Mm,
longer serve you anymore.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
and for example, just to give one, my parents want me to, of course, succeed and be successful. My parents always wanted me to
Of
succeed
course.
and be
Of
successful.
course. Right. Right.
And they want me to succeed and be even more successful than they could ever be, right? Like that's what our parents always want for us.
Right. 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 Right.
But they carry this belief that you just have to accept what's given to you,
All
and
right.
and
Right.
not necessarily to advocate for more. And
Mm-hmm.
so I remember even just a few years ago when I was negotiating my last job in my career,
Mm-hmm.
I was telling my parents, "Oh, I'm negotiating. I'm, working on getting more money, more benefits."
Mm-hmm.
And their initial response was, No, you just accept the job and you show them what you can do when you're there."
Yes.
And,
Yes.
so that's a belief that my family has, that my
I love it.
culture has, that I
Mhm.
am working on releasing so that
Love
I
that.
can get to the next level of who I want
Oof.
to be. There are
Yes.
beautiful things that I carry with me from my
Yes.
culture and from
Yes.
my identity, from my community, that
Mhm.
propelled me so forward in my life and that I would cherish. But
Yes.
there are also the flip side of that, the things that
Mm.
no longer serve me and that maybe didn't serve me at all.
Right.
And I
Right.
need to recognize that and release. And
Yes.
so that's the next, I think, very powerful space that I'm stepping into, and that I'm also stepping into with my clients. And that requires us to connect back to our story and connect back to the things that we were told, and
Mhm.
to ask ourselves, is this what I want to continue to propagate? Right? Is
Oh,
this what I
beautiful.
want to
Yes.
continue to believe?
Yes. 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 So true. I love that. Oh my goodness. That's so very true. Oh my God. That's why you're so good, girl. That's why you're so good. That's so true. I mean,
Yeah.
how often do we have we heard, like, well, don't shake, don't rock the boat. You're doing
Don't rock
great,
the boat. Right.
yeah,
Yes.
don't rock this is good. You're successful in what you're doing. Don't push it. Oh my goodness. But really becoming your best self and leaning to your own success is taking those steps, like you're
Yes.
saying, you know what I mean? And that's
100%.
beautiful. That's very beautiful. Um, so, you share so much. I know you share so much with your clients, and already you've dropped so many wonderful nuggets of knowledge. What do you think was your biggest lesson in your journey so far? Your biggest takeaway?
Oh, this is gonna be hard, but it's totally true.
Hmm.
Um, my biggest lesson is that no one else's opinion of me actually really matters.
Ooh,
And
girl.
it took me a very long time to get to that,
What?
and
Yes.
I still toggle with that,
Ooh,
right? I
yes, yes,
still
yes,
toggle with that. It still comes up because I
yes,
think in essence we all want to be validated and
yes,
appreciated and
yes, yes,
accepted. And that comes from biology, right? Like we had
yes.
to be accepted or else the wolves were going to eat us, right?
Right.
So I get that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I actually have come to this space and realization that no one else's opinion of me really
Mm.
matters.
Oh,
And that, that is a very freeing space to start to step
oh,
into, because then you can truly just be yourself and essentially know that the people who are in your vicinity and space love
yes,
you for it, and the
yes,
people
yes,
who aren't just self-select and leave.
yes,
So it just ends up becoming that you are around the people who are going to support you, and that circle might get smaller, but
yes,
it's okay because
yes,
those are your ride or dies, right? Like
yes. Right, right. They're gonna be there anyway.
you're gonna be there anyway. So that's kind of that's the space that I have started stepping into and that I'm really leaning heavily into now, because no one
Yes.
else's opinion of me really matters
I,
anyway.
I
So
I love that. I love that. And that
mhm.
is a big step. That's
Mhm.
like that's like a jump. That's like a giant jump. It's like,
It's like a
"Ooh,
total leap in the pool and I can't swim, but I'm going.
I'm going there." That's right. Oh my goodness. I love that though. I love that.
Yeah.
And you know what? One of the things, just talking to you here, is like the beauty of you being part of my journey is that you help me in my journey as well, and I
Mhm.
hopefully help you in your journey in terms of
Yes,
reflection and so
yes,
forth. And just like that, that's amazing. Just saying
yeah.
that, does anyone else really matter in terms of that? And we often we just grow up with that. And like you said, it's part
Mhm.
of our survival instincts of being a part of, and recognizing that that doesn't really matter because it's really about what's in here, and that inner circle that's going to be there anyway. We
Yeah.
got them. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's beautiful. That's
exactly.
beautiful. That's
Mhm.
beautiful.
Mhm.
So, my next question for you deals with our younger generation,
Mhm.
our young women of color coming up,
Mhm.
and all the different challenges that they have versus what we had. What
Mhm.
would some advice that you would give to them, or anything that you think they should hold on to as they journey?
The number one thing that I would say for sure is to build community around you. One
Mm,
of the things that I did not do in my career early on that I
hmm.
wish I had done was realize how important community was.
Mm,
And, I recognized that as I was going through my transformation, that was when I felt most confident, was when I
right,
had community around me.
right,
And
right,
community can look different and take different shapes as you grow and develop. But I
right.
would say that, if you're starting out in your career, if you're feeling like you're struggling, if you're trying to navigate this, think about how you can create community around you to really
Hmm.
support you in that journey.
Right.
My first step towards building community was honestly just finding other women of color who were experiencing the same thing as me so that we
Yes.
could validate each other. Because at
Right.
times I thought I was crazy. I was
Right.
like, is
What?
this just me? Did they just say that? Is this really happening? And
Right, right,
just
right, right.
finding those other women and sharing our stories and journey, that was validating to me.
Right, right.
Somehow that made me feel better. Like it was just like, okay, so this just is straight up racism. Okay,
Right,
great. All
right,
right.
right. Got it.
Now that
Got
we've
it. Call
named
it.
it, we can move from here.
That's
Um,
right. That's
but
right.
yeah, I would say that, create community around you and recognize what it is that you need in this moment. Do you need a space where you can feel validated? Do you need some help and guidance? So maybe you need some mentorship. Do you
Mhm.
need to know how to take that next step or make that next move? So maybe you need a sponsor in your organization versus having experts outside of it. So
Right.
really recognize where you are and continue to build an established community as you go and define it in what you need in that moment. So I would say
Right.
it's the number one thing because that can validate you, that can move you forward, that can bring you opportunities. It's endless.
Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness. That's great. I love that. I love that. And I think that we often, we know community is important for us or our tribe,
Mhm.
as as some people call it as well. But I don't know if we, put it in any particular place in our hierarchy of things that we need. And I think that for our young women, they do need to place that somewhere in there and finding the right community, finding the right tribe, or finding that right group that connects with and can lead them in the right, direction. You know what I mean? I think that's essential, for
Yeah,
sure, for sure.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. So going back to journaling, let me just go back to that
Mhm.
in terms of that balancing piece for you. Can you give me one word that would describe what journaling does for you?
Transformation.
Ooh, okay, share.
100% a
Yeah.
transformation. Yeah, it has truly transformed me in so many different
Mm-hmm.
ways. Through my journaling, I have been able to connect to my younger self and
Mm,
recognize what it is that she needs from me today to feel safe, secure,
right.
protected.
Yes.
Through journaling, I have been able to recognize where my needs are and
Yes.
how I can
Yes.
fulfill them instead of seeking fulfillment outside of myself.
Yes.
It's just been a transformation for me. It
Mm-hmm.
has truly been a transformation.
Right. Oh, I love that. A transformative, and that's
Mhm.
beautiful. That's beautiful. And we
Yeah.
all need that. We definitely need that. Not only balancing, but taking us to that next level.
Yes.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. Um, so if we look at women of color as a whole,
Mhm.
what could you say to, especially things that are happening politically,
Mhm.
us in our society as well? What can you say in terms of what we can do as a whole in terms of progressing and moving forward in
Yeah.
in our own in the greater struggles, in the greater level of struggles that we're looking at?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I truly believe that there is a systemic issue in all facets of
Hmm. Hmm.
this
Hmm.
country and in all facets of the system, right?
Yes.
There are major issues. Now, when I focus on career and the workforce and the workplace,
Hmm.
I do believe that there are global issues that need to be addressed
Right.
so that we can step into those environments and spaces as our truest, most authentic self.
Right.
So things have to happen from the top.
Right.
What I like to focus on is how can we actually step into the environment and therefore shape it the way that we want it to be, right?
Yes.
So what
Yes.
is the part that we can play and what is the part that we can control?
Mhm.
And for me, as soon as I started to step into my environments in a completely different, more confident capacity,
Mhm.
those environments started to shift around me. Or if they didn't, I started to tell myself, F this, then this isn't the space for me to be the successful woman I need to be.
Oh,
So,
beautiful.
although the environments need to change, although many things in the systems and processes need to change, I think that
Mhm.
we can own our space, when
Mhm.
we can own our confidence,
Right.
step into those environments, changing them naturally, right?
Right.
Because we're telling people about themselves, because
Yes,
we're
yes.
setting our boundaries, because we're
Mhm.
saying no,
Right.
or we start to recognize much quicker and much faster that
Mhm.
this isn't the space for me and I'm going to
Yes.
go out and find it so that I
Yes.
can be my best self.
Yes.
So, there's that top down approach, and I take
Mhm.
it from the bottom up approach. What is it
Gotcha.
that we can do to start really shaping and changing our environments? Because
Yes.
I would love to I tell this to my clients all the time. I would love to tell you that things are going to change tomorrow and every work
Girl,
is going to be amazing.
right? What? What?
That's not
Mm.
happening right now.
And you can't wait on that. You
And you
can't
can't
wait
wait
on
on
that. You
that.
can't wait on that. You can't wait on that. I love that basically we have to make that change for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what it comes down to. Yeah, you're so right.
Mhm.
You're so right. Because I feel the same way too. Be like, we can look at the systemic issues that exist, and finding our community and our tribe will allow us to realize that yes, we're not imagining this stuff. It's really there.
Mhm.
But in knowing that we ultimately have to kind of reflect on the world that we're in, and saying what can we do to make ourselves better, whether we have to remove ourselves from that environment
Yeah.
and go and create our own environment that's going to allow us to grow and be successful and be the person that we want to be,
Mhm.
because ultimately, will that change ever come? I don't know. you
I
know
hope so. I think that
I know.
with the great resignation, I think a lot of companies are starting to take a step back and say like,
Yes.
okay, so what part am I playing in this whole
Yes.
shenanigan that's going on here? Like,
Right.
what am
Right.
I doing in this? And
Right.
I think good, committed companies do exist that are
Yes.
really trying to be more reflective around what
Yes.
role do I play.
Yes.
And so whenever clients tell me I'm in a toxic work environment and I want
Hmm.
to leave, I'm like, great, then we're going to find you the right space. And I
Right.
truly believe that those exist.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's just a matter of knowing what the right space is for you, like
Mhm.
defining that very clearly, what it is that you particularly need to be successful and to thrive, and
Yes.
really crafting your strategy around making sure that you land there.
Yes. Yes.
And I believe that it's possible.
Yes. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Mhm.
Oh, without a doubt. Look at you, girl, killing it out there. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you.
So, oh my goodness. So, all right. So, listen, you are an amazing queen, and I know you have this amazing crown sitting in there. And one of my questions is always about what jewels do you currently have in your crown? What jewels are there? You know?
The first one that I think of is ever since I was a little girl, there was a word that my
Hmm.
dad used to use all the time to describe me, and it
Hmm.
was determination.
Yes.
He
Okay.
always used to say that I was one determined person.
Yeah.
Any goal that I set forth, like I'm going to make that thing happen by
Yes.
any
Yes.
means necessary.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I would say the crown jewel for me is determination. And
Yeah.
I really truly got that from the environment that I was in. When you don't have anything and you have to make a dollar stretch for God only knows
Yes.
how
What?
long,
What?
you have
Yes.
determination,
Yeah.
right? That is what
That's
that
right.
is what you're
That's
doing.
right. That's right. That's
I
right.
really truly believe that that is the crown jewel for me. Like that's the
Okay.
one in the center is
Right there.
determination.
Boom. Yes.
Boom,
Yes.
right there.
Beautiful.
And then
Beautiful.
I think another one that I have put into my crown and I'm very proud of is patience.
Oh, that's
Um,
good. That's good.
yeah, because I have determination and I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, we're doing
You want to
this.
have it right now.
I want her right now. And, I'm like, all right, but it's not right now. So what's happening? And I would say patience is a little more back in the crown. I want it to
Yes.
move even
Forward.
further, but we're working on it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Patience is one that is in my crown that I'm very proud that I've put there, and
Yes. Yes.
I'm really so just overjoyed to have that patience now. Like,
Beautiful.
and it came really from like this peace that I have with myself that everything that is meant for me will come for me
Yes.
when it needs to come for me. And
Yes.
so when you truly believe that, you almost
Yes.
do just kind of take a seat back and just
Mm.
chill.
Yes, 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 that you're on the right path, on the right journey.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. So what jewels are you planning to get? What jewels do you want to get, like, to
Yeah.
place in there? What are you working towards, or what basically is there but you haven't been realized yet?
Yeah. So, oh my God, that's such a good question. Honestly, freedom. And when I
Mm.
say the word freedom, I mainly mean financial freedom.
Yes, yes.
My default, just because of the way that I grew up, is to live in scarcity.
Mhm,
My
mhm.
default is to think that there's not enough money, there's not enough this, there's not enough that. And so I am working on breaking down that mindset of you always have to hustle to make a dollar.
Oh my
um,
goodness, yes.
and stepping into this space, I want to step into this space. I'm working on it. I want to add that jewel of financial freedom, that
Yes.
freedom, that feeling that I can just breathe,
Yes.
and I can create the things that we want to create, like generational wealth.
Yes.
So that's one I want to add. And I think the other one I want to add is space. Like I want
Mhm.
more space in my life
Mm.
to do the things that bring me joy outside
Yes.
of my business, my work. I wanna have more space
I
and
love that.
space in my
Oh,
schedule, space in my time, yeah.
I love that. I love those 2. Very true, very true, and things that I would love to have as jewels too. Oh my goodness, as we move forward. Beautiful, reflective conversation. Dr. Jasmine
Thank
Escalera,
you.
thank you so much for being with Keeping Queens in Balance today. I gotta give you another big round of applause. Thank
Thank
you. Whoop,
you.
whoop.
Thank you so much.
Oh
This
my
was
gosh.
absolutely wonderful, and it's a testament to you as a host because you create a space where I just feel so comfortable to step
Oh,
into and be
oh,
my authentic self. So I'm very
yes.
appreciative because of
Okay.
my journey when people do create those spaces. I always
Yes.
thank you so much for the blessing of
Oh, thank
creating a
you.
space where I can be me. So thank
Thank you. And thank you. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you so much for tuning in to Keeping Queens in Balance. And I hope you look forward to another podcast with us. Be well and have a great day.